Oh, sorry. We can't talk about powering Nigeria and the world without being honest. Traditional fossil fuels are still a critical part of our energy mix, whether we like it or not, especially for a country such as ours. Nigeria earns a significant portion of its revenue from oil and gas. That's why your point was very valid. We have one of the largest proven gas reserves in Africa. Millions of jobs and infrastructure projects still depend on this sector. So let's be clear. With wind, the cost of developing wind energy being twice as high as fossil, and the cost of developing solar being 4 times as high as fossil. Even in the best years, solar isn't enough. It would only provide you 8 hours a day of power, even in the best days of weather. So I would say that, let's be clear that it's not a call to abandon fossil fuel overnight. Rather, it's a call to be smarter, cleaner, and more intentional about how we use them. I believe that's why we're looking for multidimensional approaches. So this means reducing gas flaring and instead investing in gas power solutions that bring electricity to unserved communities. It means using our natural gas as a transition fuel while scaling up solar, wind, hydro, and other renewable forms. It means making our refineries and pipelines more safer, more efficient, and less polluting through digital monitoring and clean energy. And just to buttress the fact that it's a multidimensional approach, we've not had lights in my estate since 27th of May, the transformer blew. So, of course, it was announced in the platform, and we've been struggling. There were a couple of people with solar panels who were relying on solar, but you know that the weather is the rainy season just now. So they are also struggling with solar. So when you come to the group, you hear them complaining about the cost and their reliance on having to now go buy diesel to power generators. So you see that if you leave the world thinking from one lens, then it will never really be the reality of what the world requires. I brought a book here, which Jessica is holding there, How the World Really Works. If you're interested, you should get that book. It will really teach you to enter into the mind of how the world works, not how you think the world should work, right? While it's important to also have a thought process, it's also important to understand the fundamental dynamics around how the world works. I was going to talk about innovation. But innovation goes beyond our oil rigs and solar panels. So it's happening in surprising ways. Decentralized energy systems, mini grids powered by solar and battery storage are already lighting up rural areas, schools, hospitals, farms in Nigeria. Some of these are student-led projects. Waste to energy, turning cassava peels or cow dung into biogas. That's not science fiction. It's already helping small communities run clean kitchens. Carbon capture and hydrogen. Across the globe, countries are experimenting with green hydrogen and technologies that capture carbon before it escapes into the atmosphere. So yes, fossil fuels will continue to play a role, but the goal is not just extraction, it's transformation. And just as important as innovation is inclusion. Innovation is not truly innovation if it doesn't reach the underserved. It's not enough for a city to have a smart grid if a village is still in darkness. It's not progress if our women and girls are left behind while tech solutions are being deployed. Inclusion is innovation. It means making sure energy solutions are affordable, local, and accessible. Young people are part of the solution design, not just the end users. Gender, geography, and income levels don't determine who benefits. We must build an energy future that is balanced, realistic, and radically inclusive. Because prosperity means nothing if it's not shared. So the question is, what's your role? Again, a little story. Do you realize that India today uses human capital to become the world leader in steel in all industries globally? Go and dig into the statistics. you see how they have tactfully carved a niche. And in this arms race for AI, I hope you guys know that there's an arms race for AI now where countries are racing to be the leader of AI because for them it's about world dominance, from America to China, and probably that's some of the things that are fueling, some of the tension that we see in the world today. So you realize that it's very, very quickly that countries begin to build niches for themselves so that they can lead the revolution that they so desire. And India is strategically, advancing this. So let's read it down to you. Because this energy future won't be powered by titles, not by MD or scenarios. No, it will be powered by thinkers, by builders, by doers. I like to say that I am a doer. Part of the reason I have succeeded in my job. Today is one of those days where I should be on my bed because I've had a hectic, intense week, right? But I'm here because I believe in the concept of giving back in the manner that I'm giving to right now. So you are not just students, you are solution architects. Let me break it down by discipline. As a law student, your voice matters in shaping future-ready regulations. Rules that protect the environment, uphold transparency, and ensure fairness. You are guardians of climate justice. Your UI anthem, when I was looking at the screen, talked about social justice. This is social justice, I think. As a tech student, your responsibility is to code with conscience, build smart grids, and ask for monitoring energy use, algorithms that make renewable more accessible. You are the bridge between possibility and progress. As an economics student, your lens is vital. How do you fund clean energy? How do we design incentives for green entrepreneurship? You hold the key to making sustainability profitable and scalable. As science students, your curiosity can unlock new frontiers, more efficient batteries, better insulation materials, or carbon capture techniques that rewrite what's possible. As secondary school students, your gift is wonder. Your questions, why not? What if? Are there even every great idea, where every great idea begins? But no matter your background, here's what I ask you. Speak up for climate justice, not just in conferences, but in your schools, in your communities, in your projects. Contribute to building and promoting energy efficient systems in how you think, design, and innovate. Build ecosystems that allow everyone to thrive, rural or urban, rich or poor, girl or boy. Hold companies, even mine, accountable. Ask hard questions. Be bold, and above all, be the change you want to see in the world. Don't wait to be given a role. Don't wait to be given don't wait for permission. The planet is not waiting, and the future is looking right at you. Now, who wants to toy with the idea of getting $50? $50. Who is interested in getting $50? I ask again, who is interested in getting $50? Making 50 quick dollars without working very hard. One more time. I see a lot of hands. Who is interested? Fantastic. Open my book and give her that $50. What have you learned from this? Okay, now that's what it means. You were right with the $50, Jessica, but you did nothing. You just raised your hand. Raising your hand is not enough. The world needs you, and you need to show up and take or seize those opportunities. And that's what she has demonstrated here. Now, my call to action to you. Wrapping in a bit. So how do you power the future? We power it by choosing courage over comfort, by balancing today's needs with tomorrow's vision, by embracing complexities and refusing complacence. We power it by accepting that the future of energy is not oil or renewables, not tech or policy, not profits or purpose. It's all of the above. Yes, all of the above. It's multidimensional, just like you. So here's my charge to you. Be the voice for inclusion. It's not convenient. Be the spark for innovation, even when the world doubts you. The system builder, the problem solver, the truth teller, and the change maker. Whether you're from the Faculty of Law, Tech, Economics, Engineering, or a secondary school student looking to evolve their careers, you belong in this conversation. And when history looks back and asks, who powered the shifts? Let the answer for your kind attention. I wish you a people conference. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the session. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, if you applaud me, we can do much more than we are currently doing. Please can we celebrate our the depth of knowledge. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much. Please let's continue clapping to get to our seats. Thank you so much. Well, I don't have $50 to give you, but I really actually going to learn a lot from the rest of the sessions that we're going to be having here. Is that true? Alright. So who can tell me anything that actually stood out to them while she was speaking? Don't miss your opportunity. Be a what? Okay. So who can tell me something that stood out to them while she was teaching? Alright, please.
Where are you going?
Okay.
She has told me today that I should always know, rather than thinking for the job or something, I should just jump in and do it.
Please can we celebrate that? So rather than just running or thinking about the ideas, just jump into it and start. Another person. Okay? Any person?
Actually, something.
Okay.
So for me, it was the thing she said about us not being able to completely eradicate the use of fossil fuels. I'm thinking about my future. The future of the energy industry. So at least it's what she has said. I know that for my early career, there will be job for me.
Alright, thank you so much. Okay, just to lighten up a bit, I'll be giving out 3 vouchers since I don't have $50 to give. Okay, so who's using Airtel? Please bring out your phones. First to win. Are we ready? Airtel. Star 311. Are we ready? Okay. 0983 1599 1095 1052. Who got it? Okay, there's a winner. Can we celebrate her? Take out shot, be a two, and bring out your phone very, very quick. Okay, let's go. Who uses the brain network? Go? Anybody? Okay. 64066 28035 47959. Who got it? Nobody. Oh, okay, congratulations to the global network. Okay, 0082 MTN 0082 5326 7534 15037. Who won? You got it? Okay, congratulations. Please, can we celebrate our winners? Alright, so right now I'm going to be calling on someone who has actually been a part of making this event a successful one. I'll be calling on one of our very important sponsors who's going to enlighten us a bit. So please join me to welcome Mr. Babatunde Adeshola. Please can we put our hands together for him? Thank you so much, sir, for being a part of the success of this event. Please let's continue clapping. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Jessica and Ati, how did you get Rosario again? How did you get her? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And I'm actually happy that you're here because of our future generation, the ladies that are here. And you can see the HSC officer, how she's smartly doing like you would have done. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. Let's clap for the organizers for having us. This is the icing of this event today. Yeah. Let me just go straight to the point. I actually didn't want to come, but they kept harassing me. They kept harassing me. Look, I've been under the weather, I'm traveling tonight, but I'm happy I came. This is the woman on LinkedIn, on Facebook. At the conferences, you see her up there, and then we're just there, you know. But I mean, I'm glad I'm here. Yeah. Yeah, I saw a friend of mine again in September. Michael, thank you. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Expert speakers, organizers, most importantly, the bright minds that are here today. Hope you know you're all bright minds. Yeah. It's a great honor to stand before you at this Ambizero conference, an event that not only brings together brilliant minds, but also plants seeds for a more sustainable, inclusive, and innovative energy future. It is with pride and purpose that World Energy leads its support to this initiative. For us, this isn't just a solution, it's a statement of belief. A belief in the power of ideas, a belief in the potential of the youth, and I believe in the future of energy that is cleaner, smarter, and more human-centered. We are more than an energy company, we are a company powered by purpose, committed not only to meeting today's energy needs, but also to shaping tomorrow's solutions. And you are the solution for tomorrow. And when we speak in the future, we're not just talking about technologies, just like Rosario said, or infrastructure, we're talking about people, we're talking about you. I was coming with one of my friends and I said, the quick change is now. That I'm afraid when people who are ahead of us and people like us are out, who is concerned. So the quick change is beginning right now. Let's congratulate ourselves. And the support Ambizero is one of the powerful principle. Innovation thrives when young people are in power. Innovation does what? Thrives when young people are empowered. By the way, I didn't try this. Somebody in this room wrote this, and I did that intentionally. Let's clap for the person that wrote this. The transformative solutions that will define our energy future are not born in isolation or behind corporate doors. They are born in classrooms. They are born in classrooms, labs, activities, and conferences like this. I hope you go home from here with an innovation. That's why we're here, not to contribute, but to connect. I'm here to connect. I'm meeting my sister that I've seen. That's one of my classmates, Chichi, Ebeneke. You know, I always see you around that. I see her around you, I'm like, oh, look at these people are just flying. Chichi happens to be a very good friend of mine. We work together somewhere. Yeah. So I found the three values that drive our work are excellence, innovation, and inclusiveness. We strive not just to extract expert resources, but to build capacity. Not just to power industries, but to empower communities. I mean, I heard I talked about as the MD of the company, 3 things that is giving a headache. Part of it is community, talking to the community. I'm working about 3 communities right now, and Odomo, Rafisi, Ole. These are guys that you have to, even when they're not working for you, you have to pay them. You have to give them that job. Even when you don't have the technology, you own the technology. I'm working with SLB, by the way. And then we have to still pay these people. You know, they're not your security, you still have to pay. You know, so it's part of what the company stands for. Not just to lead, we are not just to lead the market, but to influence meaningful change. So this part of change we're happy to be part of. And we're incredibly impressed by the vision, professionalism, and the execution of this activity. We're part of the first one, I think. The first one, right? When Agbenu was here. By the way, Agbenu works for us now. So she was supposed to be here, but she had to go to bed, and then I thought she was supposed to go to the field. But I'm here because they won't take me here. You know, so you haven't just organized an event, you've built a platform for transformation. I like this energy. When I was in this school, we never had this.
I believe that the next Ambizero, we are going to be our sponsor, right?
Sponsor? Definitely, yes, you have to get it again.
Okay, if you saw yourself in the video, you were there. How was the event? How was it for you?
It was a very nice event. It was very educative. That should be good people around.
Okay, therefore, please give a round of applause.
Young man. No, play my phone. Play my phone. You can't see.
And now we are here. Thank you so much for being a part of the journey. Alright, up next is going to be calling on the SPUI President, that's OKK Miracle. Please come put our hands together for him. I'll also be calling on the Energy Club President, OCB Jessica, and I'll also be calling on SPUI General Secretary Olorun Shomo Ayoloa for the presentation of awards.
I can do this now.
No energy. FDE. That's more like 30-40%.
Is that?
FDE. We have amazing people talk to us today. Our keynote speaker and our conference sponsor, the president of Mr. Babasidi, the CEO of Born Energy, and we would love to present a token of appreciation to them in the form of awards. And we really love to have both of you on stage now. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause as you come on stage, please.
this is why you don't have bragging? No. When the only stuff was doing yes. There's not saying anything here about
We are there. To catch it. Not all the time, like we sometimes we standing up. We just sit down.
see, no, it's not dragging. Like, the way you're doing it, like, you know, I was maybe when I'm just like this, I'll come and it won't just go off and come back.
On behalf of Society of Petroleum Engineers,
When I was
University of
in
Ibadan, in collaboration with the Energy Club, University of Ibadan, to present this award of appreciation to Rosario Osabes in recognition of your invaluable contribution as the keynote speaker at the Ambizero 2.0 conference. Thank you very much.
On the behalf of the University of Ibadan, in collaboration with the Energy Club, University of Ibadan, we would like to present this award to Born Energy Services Limited in recognition of your invaluable contribution as a sponsor at the Ambizero 2.0 conference. Can we put our hands together? It's not easy to be a sponsor. Thank you so much, sir.
Fast. Set your camera.
We'll do the 3.0 as well.
Okay guys, nice one. Right now we're going to have an icebreaker session. We have all been seated and this is just for us to relax and stretch our legs like the ATS teammate said. So the icebreaker session is going to be presented now. Just like
Yes, so I have 5 vouchers for whoever is going to be our winners. There are 5 vouchers available for you if you win, definitely. Okay, so this is the modalities of the game.
So first, 20 paragraphs are going to be displayed on the screen. We're going to be interchanging. For example, this is a paragraph. Okay, can you next slide? The name of the game is chain reaction, and this is a paragraph. So, and each participant, they have a paper. Have you been given your papers? Can you just simplify? Okay, great. And each paper has a line, and that line is one word from each paragraph. If, as I continue, if you don't understand, can you just tell us away? And participants need to find their group members. So there is a total of 5 members in each group. So each paper you are going to form a word with 4 other people.
Do you understand? Okay, so when you got a piece of paper, and there are 20 paragraphs that are going to be displayed on the screen at intervals. So for each paragraph, there are 5 sentences. The paper you have with you contains one of the sentences, which means that you have to find every other person that has the sentences alongside your own to make the complete paragraph. Do you get this? Okay, Ade is a boy. Ade attends University of Ibadan. Ade is in 300 level. Ade is in petroleum engineering. Ade belongs to Energy Club. So that's like 5 sentences here. So I have Ade is a boy. So 4 other people have Ade attends University of Ibadan. Ade is a 300 level student. Ade is in petroleum engineering and belongs to the Energy Club. Do you understand now? So if you have to find the rest of the 4 people that have the exact thing you have. Do you get it?
The energy.
Do you understand now?
Centralizing.
Who doesn't understand?
People have already started looking for their partner. So before you move, please
It's clear there.
So after you find your group members, just signify with the raise of hand and you take a picture, you come
together, take a picture of the arrangement and send it to azizolamileko@gmail.com and they will announce the winners after.
No.
Do we get it?
Can you show this side?
I'm not sure. It's not wishing on my phone.
Do you understand the game now? So it means you have to leave your seat. Let's follow the HSC training we got earlier. No, counts.
Go back again now.
What is back on? Okay. So you're going to have to move around, try to find someone or other people that have similar sentences to you as regards the paragraph. Come now.
So tell me.
It's like,
You know, see, this is the game before you learn how to so you can talk communicate. Tell me.
I know we all want to win as well. Can we at least hold down the voice?
So, security money. Yes.
Can you all listen, please? So we're going to explain for the first 10 paragraphs. This is the first. So you can look at your paper now. We have 10 minutes for this. Look at your paper. What do you have? And then you just switch. Okay, the next slide. We have 10 minutes, please.
I am cold. So that's it.
Okay. Now it's not blood.
This one there.
Everybody stay back.
Sorry, I beg.
Stay back. Who has 4 people in their group now? Who has 4 people in their group? How about you?
Stop it. This one.
Cover it. Cover the screen. I mean, it's very careful.
Can we have decorum, please? Can we have decorum, please?
On my own phone.
Don't worry, guys. Every slide is every slide.
Don't turn up.
If you have 4 people in your group, don't worry, just take a picture and upload it.
Taz. Look at the phone. The phone giving you.
Have you uploaded it to the mail?
Yeah.
azizolamileko@gmail.com.
Is this working?
azizolamileko@gmail.com.
Give the answer.
If you have at least 4, you can take the picture and upload it as well. If you have 4 people, you can take the picture and upload it as well.
Or maybe like you have to do it
If you can see find your 5th partner just be a bonus for you.
Let me just close this.
What time?
And let's remember, you do not have to come outside or else you will disqualify your team. You don't have to come outside.
Yes. There's no music support. That's it.
So don't be too far. Yeah, like don't be too far. Yeah, take push away like on this road. Or the other road that there's somebody there. This one here that there's somebody. That one. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They're giving up.
Alright, now I will take our seats before we end the session.
So that.
Can we take our seats, please?
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Young man. This icebreaker session. Please, can you go back to your seats?
If you don't have your seats, I'll just take the vouchers for myself. Please let's return to our seats. Thank you for participating. The winners will be announced later.
I saw some guys sitting down, you know this happened for the aim of this icebreaker session is to promote collaboration and teamwork. When you guys don't want to do anything, just say it.
Yeah, it's okay now. It's okay. No, it's okay. Let me do this.
Okay, right now we're going to have another Q&A session. Just so that people who did not engage in that icebreaker session, you will at least go away with something.
Oh, fuck.
Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? If you are using DDC code 09, let me get this next one. You guys 0983195330. Any now.
Congratulations. If anything goes, say unlimited. If anything goes, say unlimited. Okay, 64713 42254 32384. Do we have a winner?
Where is she?
Congratulations.
Jesus.
So we want to Intel again. I don't know why I'm getting Intel. Maybe that is very good networking. So
You went to write this.
0
Maybe it's not. Yeah, you want to write this.
00
Yeah, but that's what you use.
Are you
still live? Yes.
Are you still live? Yes,
but the next one switch frame. Like they're using your phone for the hotspot.
Forget everywhere you go, guys. 8234-9708 4361 27665.
She want to need this phone. She want to use her phone. You like that?
Congratulations.
Sit down here. You can come to from here. Yes. Sit down here.
One more for the
Inside the way.
guys.
Yeah. So
640323358599833.
we can you make it like this?
Who got it?
Not like
Congratulations.
Okay now.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the proximity. That's why it's
How to zoom in? Zoom. So I don't know why we come here. Should I just stay there?
That's like
Alright, some of us have to just get a tea break. It's the tea break session.
Actually, I don't know why we come
No
here.
one
Should have
there's
stayed
no
there.
active participation.
Since we're
It's
focusing on this
alright.
side.
And if you are not seated, please take your seats.
Down,
Thank
down.
you. Maintain your seats, please.
Tea break is going to last for 10 minutes, and immediately after the tea break, we're going to be having our panel session. So let's just sit down, relax, and get ready.
Let's pick this side. Let's go with
Let some
speaker. Let's speak here. How do you zoom it out?
Because it's like you cannot be too far.
If I shrink it, it will not be possible. Just look it. It's okay. Take it. Slide. Who's now taking the people?
We don't have enough phone for that.
Once that guy come back and you get another phone, this thing, when you can keep people now that nothing is going on in the station.
Yeah, just stand up. Just stand up and
Even if I'm moving around,
yeah, it will shake.
it is connected.
Yeah, just stand up and
Don't pass this place. Do not. I think they're passing my own.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, wait. Can you make it like this? Like you should make it like this. Wait, let me show you. Wait, something like that. Just like wait, where is it? No, just zoom out first. Like you be like something like you're passing them like this. Aja. Ayan na go. Just show these places. Can you hear you? Assistant. SPC. I don't know. It's not my one. It's not my one.
We have a winner already from the icebreaker session we had earlier. And I would just like to mention that the purpose of that session was to actually get us to at least warm up our legs as we've been sitting for a while. Another purpose of it was to ensure that we actually met other people aside the normal regular faces we are familiar with. And also teamwork. Okay, with Sobena Hajuba.
Tobena, congratulations. You and your team won the icebreaker session.
Can you come out with your team? I hope you recognize them.
Hello. Hello.
If you can't find them, I'll take the rest of the vouchers for myself.
Come here. No, come here. Just
Are you confused? I'm out now. What's going on? Wait,
disqualified.
who are the people in your group? There is no possible There is no possible. I mean, wait, what are 5? Some kind of yes, that's the goal. The goal is that we actually add 3 pieces of each sentences, so that if your group does not find it first, other people have found it.
Which part of the power was selected?
Only the owners of the papers. Yeah, you guys. 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Wait. Yeah.
If you did not submit the paper, can you just
So where are the 5 people? We'll see us here.
one person was supposed to.
What is it?
Did you submit it?
Did you submit it? So why do you see us with you?
Sorry, please.
Caleb, you are playing game.
So what do we do now? Nobody wants to sacrifice. Which 5 people? Which 5 people came together first?
What is he saying? Wait, can you go back there? I'm trying to phone you. I'm trying to phone you.
One person has been.
Hey, camera.
You let the group chat.
Come, he's talking to you. Coach.
What has done? Do you think I should give him all the 5 vouchers? This is about promoting, not just
What is it?
collaboration and teamwork. We also want to promote humanity.
Like, I said, try to try and go there. Like, I want to try it. Go there. Where you were before? Just like focus on the stage.
Business scale, you can carry take your pictures, please. Okay. Hey, go congratulations.
Disconnect. No, I'm not disconnect. I should disconnect. No, you're doing the same. Wait, is there a sea cousin? You should come.
Please hold on.
Listen. Listen, focus on them now.
Please hold on. Alright, the vouchers were courtesy of Captain Up Popcorn and
It's okay. You are
Quick Craving. And Quick Craving. So the vouchers were sponsored by Captain Up Popcorn and Quick Craving.
I'm telling
So
you.
the vouchers expire tomorrow. So you have to
Whether if
go get the vouchers.
keep it phone here and it goes like it will be okay. And
The item between today and tomorrow. This is how we celebrate the making of the
push.
Can we put our hands together for them? Alright, now we're going back to business. So we're going to be going into the panel session now. And we're going to be taking the citation of our panelists.
Please, everyone standing, I will be sitting now.
Can we take our seats, please? Alright, so I'll be taking the citation of Mr. Ogaga Sapa. Ogaga Sapa is a drilling engineer at HPTP Energy Services Limited with over 3 years. Oh, I'm so sorry. She's a woman. She's a drilling engineer at HPTP Energy Services Limited with over 3 years of experience in the oil and gas industry. She is responsible for the planning, design and execution of both onshore and offshore wells. Ogaga has been actively involved in the successful planning and drilling of more than 8 wells across diverse terrains. This can put an end together for her. She holds a B Engineering in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Benin and currently serves as the Young Professional Co-Chair for the Society of Petroleum Engineers, SPE Lagos Section 61. When she's not working, Ogaga enjoys dancing and sipping tea. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome Ogaga Sapa? Please come put our hands together for her. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation.
So next
Christian, I'm making no come, but go to the front.
Up next, I'll be taking this citation for Engineer O. Ofuka. So Engineer O is a highly skilled electrical automation specialist with over 8 years of invaluable experience in automation, instrumentation, and control systems.
Don't show this guy. Don't show this guy.
His remarkable expertise is complemented by his exceptional interpersonal and leadership qualities, establishing him as an indispensable asset in the engineering and technology field. Notably, he holds certification as a building automation engineer from Siemens in Zug, Switzerland. Currently, Hope is the project manager at Prime Atlantic Global Energy Services, an oil and gas serving firm in Nigeria. Its technical teams to manage complex projects that optimize operations within the industry. Prior to this, he served as a power system engineer at one of Nigeria's largest utility companies, where he also served as president of the Young Engineers Program.
Go. Hey, put them in the middle.
Currently, Hope is the project manager at Prime Atlantic Global Energy Services, an oil and gas servicing firm in Nigeria, where he leads technical teams to manage and deliver complex projects that optimize operations within the industry. Prior to this, he served as a power system engineer at one of Nigeria's largest utility companies, where he also served as the president of the Young Engineers Program, underscoring his commitment to developing the next generation.
You should move to that.
Throughout his career, Hope has made notable contributions, including the design and implementation of our award-winning transformer management system, which addresses key technical challenges within Nigeria's power distribution network. His work continues to drive innovation and efficiency within the energy sector, particularly through the adoption of sustainable technologies. Behind his professional accomplishments, Hope serves as the chairperson of the Energy Institute's Young Professionals Network Africa, where he leads a network of young professionals dedicated to driving change, shaping policy, and promoting a sustainable energy future for Africa. Through this platform, he has been instrumental in fostering collaboration and influencing the direction of the continent's energy transition. Ladies and gentlemen, jam your hands together. Engineer Ofuka.
Thank you. Up next, we have Glory Ayomiku Onoyiga.
Go this way.
Glory Onoyiga is a seasoned legal practitioner with a strong background in advising on complex energy and infrastructure projects, as well as public-private partnership transactions across a range of sectors, including transportation, real estate, and construction. A graduate of the Obafemi Awolowo University and the Nigerian Law School, she currently practices in the Power and Infrastructure Group at Olaninu Ajayi LB, a Tier 1 firm renowned for its depth across all core practice areas.
Thank you.
Within the team, she routinely advises on market-defining transactions, working at the intersection of law, policy, and commercial reality. Her growing reputation in the field has not gone unnoticed. She is recognized by the Legal 500 as a recommended lawyer in Nigeria for real estate and construction. a reflection of our technical proficiency, deal experience, and ability to navigate complexity with clarity and precision. Over the course of her career, Glory has advised on a wide range of high-impact projects, and notable mandates include advising on $2 million financing and development of a natural gas to ethanol production facility in Akwa Ibom, Nigeria, Nigeria's marginal field bar round of 2020, various mini-grid and rural electrification projects across the country, and the financing and development of independent power plants. In the infrastructure space, she was lead member of the teams that advised on the development of the Lagos 4th Mainland Bridge, the Lagos Metro Red Line, and the Lagos State Independent Power Projects, all critical components of the state's transport and energy blueprint. Can we put an end together for her? Her ability to shape deals that align public sector ambitions with private sector investment underscores her value as a trusted advisor on complex transactions. Beyond her growing career as an energy and infrastructure practitioner, Glory is deeply committed to engaging youth and mentoring the younger generation, especially young women at the start of their careers and life journeys. She believes in lifting as she climbs and creates space for the next generation to thrive. She also believes in living life to the fullest, making room for joy, community, and celebrating all wins along the way. For Glory, excellence in work and life and enjoyment of life are not mutually exclusive. They go hand in hand. Please can we welcome Glory Ololika. Please let's put our hands together for her.
And finally, for our last panel speaker, Mr. Michael Odoiri is a project manager at Surplus Energy PLC. So his citation: with about a decade and a half years of hands-on experience in the upstream and midstream sectors of the energy industry, Michael Odoiri excels in the technical and business realms of project management, front-end maturation, and surface facility engineering designs, hydrocarbon processing and production. Beyond that, it brings valuable insights from its involvement in the corporate finance environment, with industry projects and operations financing. Michael's passion for energy continues to grow as he actively shapes and influences every aspect of the hydrocarbon value chain. Currently, Michael is the project manager accountable for project delivery and was also very recently leading multidisciplinary teams as a lead front-end engineer, tackling innovative engineering challenges head-on every day via stage-based project maturation processes. His roles involve spearheading improvement initiatives, fostering innovation, and nurturing opportunities across assets and the entire business spectrum. With a sharp focus on delivering credible, cost-effective, and competitive projects, Michael consistently drives positive impacts on Surplus' bottom line. Prior to this role, Michael Odoiri was a financial analyst on secondment to the Surplus UK office from 2020 to mid-2021 and was responsible for supporting revolving credit facilities and reserve-based lending financing activities. He was also involved in delivering on crude oil hedging, loan management, and debt monitoring activities, as well as providing a daily general oil market analysis report to the company executive leadership. He also actively participated in the company's biggest project worth about $650 million in bond financing projects. As a process engineer over the years with Surplus, Michael has been involved in several oil development projects alongside several multi-million-dollar natural gas development projects that are all geared towards delivering close to a billion standard cubic feet of gas to the Nigerian domestic gas market, with a focus on driving Nigeria's industrialization and development majorly through the power sector. He's a technology champion and core member of the company's technology innovation team, playing critical roles in the deployment of some solution-based tools that have enhanced operational excellence in Surplus. He holds a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Chemical Engineering from the Enugu State University of Science and Technology, a current registered engineer, and additionally, a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers. Michael has been an active SPA member for over 17 years, volunteering in several capacities across the Nigeria Council and SPA International. He is currently a director with Section 16 Lagos. And finally, Michael is happily married and blessed with 2 lovely children. Ladies and gentlemen, what is occasion? Please welcome Michael Dewey to the stage.
Alright, I'm going to be taking the citation of one of our own, who's going to be the moderator of the panel session, Dr. Princess Uwankwo. Dr. Princess Uwankwo is a senior lecturer at the Department of Petroleum Engineering and Deputy Director at the Center for Petroleum, Energy Economics and Law, University of Ibadan, and with a doctorate degree in petroleum engineering from the prestigious Penn State University, USA. She is driving transformation in the methods of teaching oil and gas courses by implementing new educational models that positively impact on the way petroleum engineering is being taught at all levels in the Department of Petroleum Engineering, UI. Driven by a passion for renewable energy, Dr. Princess Uwankwo is currently spearheading several grant research efforts to develop differential products and services across a broad renewable energy portfolio at CPEL. Dr. Princess Uwankwo is a passionate advocate for girls entering and excelling in STEM courses. Please, can we put our hands together for our own Dr. Princess Uwankwo? Thank you so much for coming.
I'm going to advise you all to get your pen and paper and get ready to start.
Okay, just before the panel session, I want our panel to relax, so we'll be playing a very good game. So you're going to be telling us 2 truths and 1 lie, and I'll need the audience to guess that. So ladies first, when we start from?
Panels.
Ladies first. Okay, start from you then. 2 truths and 1 lie, and then you have to guess.
Let me check this in the sun.
Okay,
No.
2 fruits and 1 lie. Okay, Eddie.
Fuck.
I studied mechanical engineering.
Yes. True. Timmy.
Calm down now. Let us finish.
Timmy. Do you need us?
This is my first time.
Wow.
Okay, what's the truth and what's the lie? Anybody?
Last one was a lie.
The last one is a lie. The first is a lie. Okay, so she lives in Ibadan is a lie. Do we all agree? Yes. Is that correct? Okay, how put our hands together for her?
Take it back. It's here. Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm having a wonderful time. So the first one is I attended three secondary school. The second is one. I came out with 1, and the last is
Timmy. Small.
I'm a videographer.
Lie. The second one is a lie. Do we agree? The third one is a lie. The third one is a lie.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so number one is I actually really love my job. Number two, I'm married to a petroleum engineer. I drink Gary every day. To bust your bubble, I actually do drink Gary every day. So the lie is that I'm married to a petroleum engineer. I'm not married to a petroleum engineer. But I would just also say that my immediate elder brother graduated from the Department of Petroleum Engineering in UI.
Alright, good afternoon everyone. Okay, first off, just to really commend the organizers of this event and the fact that there's collaboration happening between two organizations is something really commendable. So, well done to you guys. So my three lines are.
Hey, wait.
Okay, I have three.
Yes.
My headphones fell inside. It doesn't
That you see me?
No, like, I
This is my third time in Ibadan. I was the best graduating student in my set. I've been out of the country this year 3 times.
The second one is like, what do you mean by it's not the BTS? How do you know? So which one is like? The first one? The second one is like. Yes, and which one is like? The second one say I. The first one say I. Okay, so I just focus. What's the name?
Yes,
I mean,
just like I said.
No, listen.
If you can't remember, so then please, I think that's.
Christian.
Can we have you again?
Fuck Christian.
Thank you so much. Alright, Dr. Princess.
I'll go for mine too. Let's see if you get mine. Let me go. Okay, so number one.
Sure.
I hope you don't know this. Number one, I'm married to a petroleum engineer. Number two, I studied. I got my PhD with 2 scholarships. I have a phone pet dog.
The third one is like. Yes, I don't have a dog. Thank you so much. So right now we're going to get into the panel session. Please make sure to pay maximum attention and take down notes. If you have questions during the session, please make sure to note them as we're taking them after the session. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for staying through till this time, which is our time. I had a strong set of people with me to handle this session. Everybody's an expert. The good thing is there's no right or wrong answer. we're just taking perspectives of different people. So there's no wrong answer, there's no correct answer, but we want to make sure that whatever the question is, that we learn from the answers we are given. So you're please supposed to pay attention while we go through this. I'll just read a small introduction before we start. The good thing is that even through the short session we just heard, where people had to say 2 truths and 1 false, was an icebreaker for us here. So, the keynote speaker did great justice to what we're going to discuss today. I was so glad that I came in while she was still on stage. Thank you very much. So, climate change is a mental challenge. It is a challenge of survival of mankind. Governments all over the world have accepted that man-made emissions, namely anthropogenic emissions, are responsible for climate change. Ambizero is the second time the University of Ibadan is taking up this challenge and bringing it up to the audience, and we are excited to be part of it. So without wasting much time, in no particular order, I think I'll be going from my left, and I understand I have a lawyer with me, so I think I have 2 questions that kind of looks like it has a legal undertone, so I'll reserve that for you. So without wasting much time, I'll just go through from my very far left, and I'll ask my first question that would maybe open up the floor on what we're about to discuss. General information about what climate change is. So sir, can you just give us a brief introduction of what climate change is and what are the common effects of climate change? What does it mean that it's climate change? What do we look out for to show that there is? Because we know there are naysayers who say there is nothing like climate change, people like Donald Trump. So can we just say, is it true, is it real, and what do we see that makes us believe it's true?
All right, thank you very much. Majority of us can relate to it. Recent floodings happening, particularly in Nigeria. There are erosional landslide impacts in some parts of the east. The floodings, and with reference to predominant within the south. The sun intensity is really hot or high, and those are clear markers of changes within weather, within referencing temperature elevations, changes within our environment. So climate change is actually real, but is it over exaggerated? There's a tendency that opinion exists, and they may not be wrong. But notwithstanding, there are consequences of some of our actions.
Okay. I'm trying to make it legal. I'm trying to give you a question. So what I'm going to ask you is that this climate change, some people are responsible. Sometimes big organizations are responsible for the pollutions that cause climate change. Does Nigeria even have any laws that would mitigate against people just irresponsibly polluting the air industrially? And what is Nigeria doing about it, if anything at all? And are these people complying, and are there consequences for non-compliance?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. So let me just say that even before climate change became a thing, and even before the Climate Change Act was enacted in 2021, I think, Nigeria has always had environmental agencies. There's NESTRA, there's the Federal Ministry of Environment. There are all sorts of permits and regulations that talks about, you can't emit more than
The network is not going. Is it from our network or from?
Is the network you're using? I don't know, it's bad.
Okay, you can't do this, you can't dispose your waste in this manner, you have to dispose your waste in this manner. You know, there's always been...
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so those regulations exist, those kind of safeguards exist, and they've always enforced them. Now, when you say, if you ask me how to enforce, I know that there are definitely penalties. So an organization, you do a power plant, you're an oil company, you're an exploration company, you know that, oh, you're not supposed to dispose, you have toxic waste, you're not supposed to just dispose your waste, open your back gate and just throw it into the gutter, or open your front gate and throw it into the gutter. There are like very serious and very strict regulations. All of these little things are things that, you know, that build up and cause climate change, and then global warming, everything that we're talking about. So Nigeria has always had this. Now, when climate change became an actual thing and developed countries started to push for net zero, Nigeria, of course, you know, there's something we see in the legal space. We say that Nigeria does not have a shortage of laws. We have every law that we need. What we don't have is implementation. What we have is an implementation problem. Now, so Nigeria has enacted the Nigerian Climate Change Act. There's an energy transition policy. I mean, the policy is not in law, so it's not binding. It's just supposed to guide you. But there's the Climate Change Act. There's so many policies that Nigeria has, and I know that the enforcement mechanisms. Now, they cannot come and clamp down on every single person. But I know that for oil and gas industry, especially for companies in the energy space, oil and gas, power, you know, they are more on the radar. These agencies actually know the check. These agencies actually check if they are doing what they are supposed to do. That's one part. That's what agencies and regulators do. There's also the other part of, I'm an oil and gas company, I own an exploration company, I own a midstream company. I'm not complying. If you're not complying, even if Ministry of Environment or area police does not come to, even if they don't come to close your warehouse or close your office, you're going to have problems, right? Because you're not complying. All of your activities are toxic. You are emitting, what's the word now? You just have emissions everywhere. You're not being sustainable at all. You're going to have a problem even in your operations. Nobody's going to give you money. And you know, when you guys get out of school, you realize that money is the key. It's not just to have the company. Money is the key factor. You need money. You're going to always need to get money from lenders, from investors. So nobody's going to give you money. So there's those checks and balances all around. You also see states like Lagos. Lagos is doing a lot right now. Lagos has a banned styrofoams in Lagos, for instance. That's like, as in my personal opinion, that's the biggest focus problem in Lagos. Check all the gutters and drainages in Lagos. Coke bottles and styrofoam. You know styrofoam? Takeaway packs. It's filled everywhere. There's nowhere for water to pass. And then when small rain, 10 minutes rain in Lagos, everywhere pours. So you know, Lagos State has said, no more styrofoam. You can't buy food and get styrofoam any longer. So it's all sorts of little things that make up little big things in the long run. If you don't buy styrofoam, you don't dispose as much styrofoam. You don't use single-use plastics any longer. You buy a takeaway container, you don't go back to eat the next day and buy another takeaway container. You reuse what you bought previously. So all of those things are things that Nigeria is currently doing.
Thank you very much. Okay, so to my right, your question. Technology. What technologies would you suggest that could improve on making sure that emissions could be monitored or mitigated or reduced? Any technologies, any new technologies or existing technologies that should be improved upon? Are you saying we should stop this or use more of this? Any suggestions or advice?
I would want to say that climate change is currently a thing. When I venture into the energy space, it was just all about, we need to provide electricity, we need to just get power supply. Well, currently we are where we are now. There are a lot of data, and we can see what the world is actually doing, and we can see that there are solutions we can put in place to ensure this sustainability. So in as much as we are trying to see how we can make it possible, we're also trying to see how we can make the environment more sustainable.
sustainable. The first thing is talk about the consequences of climate, where it talks about flood and all that happening in our environment. I've also met some people, because I work in the oil and gas space, I've also met some people I've asked to ask them what do they think about climate change, and one of the things they will say that doesn't exist. And I try to explain to them the benefits and how they can contribute to this thing. And as an engineer, one of the things I do, because I'm an engineer, I try to provide technological services to companies. I was opportunity to join the group where we talk about gas flaring commercialization, where we have meetings about solution, how these gases can be captured. And this technology has to do with emission of gases, white drilling, your oil from the ground, processing it, gas being released in the atmosphere. I've been opportunity to go to where gas is being processed, and I can see how those amount of gas is being flared. And one technology that is very important, it's currently not in Nigeria, is called the CCUS, which is called carbon capture, utilization and storage, which helps capture gas, helps to store that gas, and also helps to utilize the gas. So there are different types of technology when it comes to capturing the gas. When it comes to, first of all, you need to be able to collect information. What kind of gas are you actually putting in the atmosphere? You need a technology that can help you capture that. And there are technology like gas chromatograph, whereby you can install in substations for companies who make use of who do gas for gas plants. They make use of gas chromatograph, where they see the type of gas that flows through along that line, and with that can be able to tell what kind of gas is flowing. And if they are releasing that gas to the air, they can also tell what kind of gas is going out to the air. So there is another technology that can also help to capture that gas. Capture the gas, the kind of gas. So for CO2, which they enter the atmosphere, so the technology can help to separate the gases, capture CO2, store it, and we can make use of this CO2. There are other technologies in terms of
I think we're running out of time on here. Thank you. Just round up.
The use of AI, smart meters and all that. I can't say much, but I'll try to touch more.
Thank you very much. Let's applaud him. So, as you're listening, and if you're interested in knowing more about any of the other topics we're discussing, or you need more clarification, I think we'll just take 2 questions from the audience before we step down. So be putting down your questions and be paying attention. Okay, so to my far right, we're having another fine lady there. And your question, I think I want you to address the young people in the crowd. How can they be a part of taking care of the environment and making sure they're not contributing to things that will cause climate change and the negative effects of climate change? What roles can the young people play?
So yeah, we, because I consider myself as a young person as well. So yeah, so for everyone, I mean, advocacy is the key, being aware. So it's good to keep on learning, keep on understanding, knowing what carbon footprint is, what climate change is. So as young people, the biggest parts that we can play is advocacy, talk about it, speak about it, learn about it, educate ourselves about it. Because, I mean, we are the older generation, we are not going to be impacted by the issues that we're having with climate change. So we have to be in the forefront, speak about it, tell our friends about it, tell our parents about it, even people that don't believe in it. We have to speak about it. So yeah, that's the biggest part we can play at this stage. And also, yeah, just like she mentioned, the Lagos State stopped the styrofoam use. When we see people still using it, educate them about the issues of still using materials like this. And yes, I feel like that's the biggest part that we can play as people.
Thank you very much. So according to her, speak up for the environment. We're all
caretakers of the environment. So please do that. So go back to, is that Michael? All right, so go back to the left for Michael. I hear people say clean energy, clean energy. Is there dirty energy? If what's clean energy, what is it? And how does it work? And why is it so important? What's clean energy?
Okay. My view will be that clean energy is supposedly one that is devoid of CO2 emissions. And when you say what is dirty energy, yes, the belief is that fossil fuels generate what is unclean energy, if I can use that word. But having said that, I think the focus should be more around optimizing the processes that we deploy in extracting, processing energy in the hydrocarbon or the oil and gas industry. So, I mean, there's what we call the transition fuel or the cleaner fuel, which is gas, and that is a strong energy driver as far as cleaner energy is concerned. Of course, there's a lot, it also has a lot to do with renewables, particularly for our region, which is solar energy, the trapping of sun intensity and storage and utilization of energy. So those renewables along solar, wind turbines are generally what is referred to as clean energy. But then I've also put my voice at the back of opinions that refer to gas as the cleaner energy of now, that if we keep utilizing or improving our processes, they get us to where we do not have to worry about polluting the environment.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, again to our lawyer, let me ask you, I don't know if this is a legal word, what is energy equity? Me or more? Okay, so when you talk about energy equity, what you are speaking about, I mean, do we have any lawyers in the room? Law students? Or just one? Okay, yeah, that's good. So when you talk about equity generally, you mean what is fair, you know? Equity just comes from the word equal. You know, we are all equal, nobody's greater than the other, we are all the same. So equity just talks about what is just and what is fair. So when you say equity, I believe that, you know, energy equity, the way energy equity is used is to say that, is to define a world or to describe a world where everybody has access to energy, right? So, you know, it's not energy, you don't have access to energy based on your income level or your gender or your social class. You have access to energy, which is something that, you know, I'm sure we all know that we've not achieved in Nigeria yet, because you only have access to energy if you have money. If you don't have money, you don't have energy. Even if you have money, you may not have energy because, you know, Ibadan Disco may decide not to give you light. And if Ibadan Disco decides not to give you light, sorry, you may not have money to buy fuel or diesel for your generator, or you cannot afford to buy a solar inverter, or, you know, things like that. So energy equity is just a world or a state where, you know, everybody has access to energy. We all know how important and critical energy is, right from electricity to gas to, you know, actual fuel. Energy is literally important. We can't survive without energy. So, thank you very much. So she's saying energy equity, everybody has equal access. We're not going to say Bodija estate is for big men, so it will be lighted at night, and then Agawo is for small people, so you can pass through it at night and there's no light. Isn't that true? Okay, so our next question is going
going to my right. Please, let's tone down the voice and the noise. So your question, sir, what is energy transition and how best can it be achieved? Should we just shut down on what we're doing now and do something else? But what's energy transition and how can it best be achieved?
Okay, energy transition is you're trying to, so the word transition means you're moving from something to another. So energy transition for different locations means different things. Because of the Paris Agreement, in terms of how to reduce climate change, Nigeria came with the energy transition plan in 2022, and the plan was to transit to other sources of fuel. And during that meeting, the conclusion was that gas will be a transition for, in terms of the energy we use, we are going to make use of gas, and that's why you can see initiatives like the use of CNG for transportation. So transition means moving from one source of fuel to another source of fuel, another one source of energy to another source of energy, kind of energy. So let's say for electricity, making use of a fossil fuel generator, powers, sense degree, transmission, distribution, and down to my house. But now making use of renewable energy. So it's also advisable, because of the transition, there are several initiatives. So in terms of making use of renewables, so companies now are trying to ensure that they make use of more renewables. You see so many companies trying to bring in solar systems as part of a way of trying to reduce the use of fossil fuels. So all transiting, we're trying to, for Nigeria, we're trying to make use of what we have, and what we have in abundance is gas. Why for other countries such as Denmark make about 50% of their source of electricity comes from renewables. So, but for a country like Nigeria, we make use of gas, which is transition from. However, there are other initiatives, but gas is one of our transition way of transiting the country.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so, sweet, your question. I don't know why I always have to give you the soft question for the youth. Like you said, you're one of them. Okay, so let's go. The petroleum engineering students do not like this idea of always saying, oh, climate change, fossil fuel, and their hearts are burdened. I remember that a parent came to the Department of Petroleum Engineering. Her son had gotten into 100 level, and she came and was begging that someone told her that petroleum engineers will soon not be getting jobs. And she was pleading that we should release the boy to go to electrical. And I was trying to convince her that she shouldn't do that. And she said, they said, oil will soon finish. So what would you say in this regard? If you were the person and this lady came and trying to tell or discourage someone from studying petroleum engineering because there are a lot of things going on. People are saying fossil fuel is causing climate change. People say they won't have jobs soon. What would you say? What have you advise the young people who are in petroleum engineering?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Okay, just like you mentioned, we're trying to transition, but the transition is going to take time. So we still rely heavily on fossil fuel, that's the truth. And so we still require people that are knowledgeable in that respect. And apart from that, as petroleum engineers, I mean, engineering is a broad field. And so we can also be involved in different aspects of renewable energy. There was a lady, I attended one of her presentations, Rita Isiri. She's an amazing woman. She studied petroleum engineering and she did a presentation on, I think, geothermal, which is also a very important aspect where we try to drill wells and get heat from, and heat up water from underground and try to power up, our homes or power up industries and all that. So we still require that knowledge, and so petroleum engineering is still very much important. people are still drilling wells. People still need energy. So, understanding that, we should know that petroleum engineering is very important to yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, he wants to say something.
Let me just quickly add to that. Based on my field work, please, when you will not finish. And there are a lot we have not done. There are a lot of resources we have not exploited in Nigeria when it comes to oil and gas. And I want to tell you that in the next 20 years, we'll still be running.
Next 100 years.
We'll always be running.
I have to be optimistic. I believe in the next 100 years, we will still be on oil and gas. Okay, thank you very much. Michael, back to you. Is a world without fossil fuel possible? Is it even feasible? A world without fossil fuel? How would it look?
To be honest, I would struggle to imagine that a world without fossil fuel would be possible. And that is, I mean, within the context of the emerging technologies or the emerging circumstances within the energy industry. But then it's also very important to note that thus far in life, nothing is impossible. As far as a man thinks, he can create ideas. But what is important is to note that the stable environment and climate we seek can still be achieved with a blend of energy sources. What the focus should really be is more around optimizing the processes around the development of fossil fuels, whilst also investing heavily in developing alternative sources of energy, like the renewables. So the idea, the goal, should actually be investing the revenue from the cash cow, which is essentially oil, and whilst developing that space and making it smarter, less toxic to the environment, invest a lot more in R&D to open up the opportunities around the alternative energies. Because the reality is, when we talk about renewables, solar, wind, a number of the raw materials that are required to, for example, batteries that will store these charges, they still have petroleum elements that make them up. So there will still be a need to process fossil fuels. But then the objective should also be trying to strike a balance between and being intentional about developing alternative energies, such that we strive to achieve a balance and not an outright elimination, but as much as possible, a balance that sustains.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Round of applause. Actually, I don't believe there's anyone seated here that is not holding or wearing something that has a component of petroleum on it. The plastics, your shoes, your clothes, you walked on tours, all of those had fractions of it, the Vaseline you use. So I think it will be unthinkable. Thank you again. To my immediate left, sweetheart, our lawyer in the house. Let me ask you this question. I hear sometimes they say it's 2050, sometimes I hear it's 2060 net zero. What's that? What's this net zero? And the Paris Agreement says 2050. I understand there's another one that's saying 2060. Is Nigeria aligning to this timelines of achieving net zero in 2050 or 2060, whenever, however.
Okay, so let me just start by saying that Nigeria is not achieving net zero by 2050, not even 2060, for many reasons. Not just for lack of willingness, also because our economy just cannot take it. We're not there yet. The bulk of our income, the bulk of our income is coming from oil. So there's that. There's also awareness. The countries that may achieve, net zero by 2050 are countries whereby now there's so much of the sustainability agenda is very high. Everybody knows about it. You guys here right now are probably the 1% of the whole of University of Ibadan that even knows what net zero is. Not to talk about the general, National Association of Nigerian Students. Not to now talk about, Nigerians in the north, in the east, everywhere. So Nigeria is not achieving net zero by 2050. But I know that I think Nigeria is committed to achieving 47% by I think 2050 or 2060. Yeah, so they've committed to something. Even that, even the portion that Nigeria is committed to, I really hope, because it's really good. I mean, it would be really good for us to do that. I hope we can do that. Out of the 47%, I'm not sure we're at 10% yet, and it's 35 more years to go. So there's that, and there's, we'll get there. We will get there.
Okay, your question, sir. The problem is Nigeria makes all of its money, most of its money from petroleum. So when you hear agitation for people in APC and PDP and LP trying to be president, the first thing they want to take charge of is the money from petroleum. So do you think Nigeria should be one of the crusaders of net zero, zero fossil fuel utilization and production? What's your opinion for Nigeria? Should we be a strong crusader for non-hydrocarbon energy sources? For hydrocarbon energy sources?
Alright, so I just want to make a clarification. So when the word net zero doesn't mean that you have to outrightly eliminate fossil fuel. It's just you trying to balance to ensure that what you're sending out, whatever information you're sending out, you're also trying to eliminate that. Whatever process you're doing, you're also eliminating using technology to capture that. So, some people are of the agenda that seem to make a whole lot of money from oil and gas that we should eliminate. We should stop some of this process because if you go to some of these regions, I've been in the field where I was very close to that's very important, and it's around that region is something else, and the kind of gas they are flaring in the atmosphere is also something else. You can't just imagine. So when people get to see that and get to see how that pollutes the environment and even the water, they just kind of say, oh, it has been eliminated. But I would say that we don't have to. We just have to ensure that we creating processes, creating solutions that will help to capture this. And there are several initiatives that are currently going on. But as young engineers, we just need to ensure that we understand these things so that we can think or even innovate solutions and also inform our parents and people around us the right things to do at every point in time.
Thank you very much. I'm throwing to her should have actually been your question because you were the one who was telling us of CCUS, carbon capture, utilization and storage. I do know that, I don't know if you've done any farming. Have you? I do some farming. I should have asked it at one of my trips and falls. I'm sure you don't know I have a farm. I do have a farm. I understand that plants help reduce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So would you be advocating that we should have more greens in our environment?
Yes, definitely. We should have mean, we're taught in secondary school that, we take in oxygen and take out or bring out CO2, but the plants taking the CO2 and give us oxygen. So, I mean, it's as simple as that. So, having more trees helps to make the air cleaner and gives us more ability to be in a stable environment. So, yes, trees.
Do you have a farm?
No, I don't.
So if you are advocating for it, you should please plant a tree, right?
My father has a farm.
Okay, all right, back to my Michael, please, what's carbon footprint? I don't know what it is. We don't know. What's carbon footprint?
Okay. Carbon footprint essentially refers to the quantification of gas emissions that an environment or an organization contributes. So it's a measurement of what the various equipment or processes you have within your system to either process or refine these hydrocarbons from point of feedstock into the plant up until the point of exports and sale and downward processes. So essentially, all processes that emit pollutant gases, greenhouse gases, CO2 into the environment. An aggregation of it is the carbon footprint of either an organization or a group of people. Or, it's just that definition of what is being emitted.
Okay, thank you very much.
My lawyer, I'm always looking for the questions that will make you talk to us about your profession. What role can the government play in addressing energy poverty and promote energy equity? What role should the government play to address energy poverty? Like, I don't think I've had light in my house for 2 months. So that's energy poverty. So what can the government do to address energy poverty and promote energy equity?
Okay, so you see this question, if we begin on it, we may not finish, right? Because it's a lot. I am a power and infrastructure lawyer, so I actually do advise a whole lot of power companies. And when I say power companies, I mean all your discos, your generating companies, etc. And the electricity energy problem in Nigeria, it's really deep. It's not easy to understand. There's the bankability issue, there's the liquidity issue. There's no money and there's no equipment. To put it in simple terms, there's no money because people don't pay NEPA bills, right? People do bypass. You people know what bypass is? Good. People don't pay NEPA bills, people do bypass, and so Ibadan Disco and Ikeja Disco don't get enough money. And because Ibadan Disco does not get enough money from the people, they cannot pay the people giving them the electricity that they are selling to you. And because those people cannot get money from Ibadan Disco, they cannot pay Michael that are giving them gas. Yes. So they can't pay Seplat, because Seplat gives Genco gas. So, because somebody in their house in Bodija has done bypass, and instead of you to pay 100,000 naira a month, you are paying 20,000 naira. You are being wise, you are being smart. You are saving your pockets, because in fairness, there's no money in Nigeria and the economy is tough. I know, I understand. But because you are doing that, many people don't get paid and it goes up until Michael. And it doesn't even stop at him. It goes back to like his investors, his lenders. And because the people that gave Seplat money to build Seplat cannot get money because you did not pay, they won't give more money to general people in Nigeria. So the agricultural person that wants to take a loan to do his business, they're not going to give him money because Nigeria has bad reputation. Loans are non-performing, but CBN always has to rescue.
problem. What can the government do? The government can create policies. They are doing policies. Right? In the oil and gas industry, there was the Petroleum Industry Act, which is fantastic by the way. There's been new agencies. In the electricity sector, there's the Electricity Act, which is really good. States are now doing, Oyo State has passed its own electricity law, Lagos State has, so many states have. On the policy side, we are fine. Can there be better management of money in Nigeria in government? Right? Yes. Can there be less bureaucracy and corruption? Absolutely. Can the government give everybody power? No. Maybe if there were better money management, right? Government can say, I will build new generating companies, new generating plants, I'll give everybody lights. But it's not likely to happen. Now, and there's a very big infrastructure problem. If you don't know, you know NEPA. Good. The infrastructure that NEPA had 30 years ago is the same infrastructure that your Ibadan Disco is still using now. Power assets are not even supposed to be used for that long. They're supposed to constantly rehabilitate, renew, get new infrastructure. There's no infrastructure. That's why National Grid is collapsing. Because the CCN that they've been using since, funny enough, we just finished a presentation in my office where the NYSC took us through like the timeline. I can't remember the year, like it's 1980 something that TCN was, put into place. So it's the same. That's why we don't have it. What I believe for energy poverty, we need investors, right? Discos and Gencos get more money. Even if Discos and Gencos get $1 billion today, right? If they put in $1 billion and they don't get back $2 billion, the cycle is never going to stop. Yeah, they don't get their money back because people are doing bypass and tampering, and they are not, they can't get that. And don't bear in mind also that they say, I'm not happy about it too. They say that the rate we pay for electricity in Nigeria is already very subsidized. That we are cheap. As expensive as they think NEPA bills are, they say, based on global standards, it's very cheap because everybody else pays more than us. So the problem is not just energy poverty. Is the people doing the tapping are not doing it because they just want to tap. If the economy was good and everybody had money, you wouldn't mind to pay things. But long story short, we need more investors. The government can help with more policies. But to be very honest, government has been very good on policies for the oil and gas and the electricity industry. So I'm not sure what more they can do there. They can put in more money. Investors can put in more money. You guys will grow up, build energy efficient solutions, build solar panels, things that will come cheap to people, so that we will all not need to rely on the Discos and the Gencos.
Thank you very much. I hope you're getting ready with your questions, because I'm going to take 2 questions from the audience, and it's going to be 1 male, 1 female for equity. Abi or? Abi not. All right, so before we get there, let me ask, when this present government came into power, they are trying to promote the use of CNG. Do you know why? And do you think would you advise me to change my car to CNG? Would it be a wise thing to do? And would it take me from here to Anambra State where my husband is from when I go for Christmas? Would it be a nice thing to do, or would I run out of CNG and not find a place to refill? What would you suggest?
Okay, I would say that the CNG initiative is a good initiative, but in terms of implementing it, someone say that some of these things might take time for us to be able to adapt to them. So CNG is good because we have a very large reserve of gas. So CNG is the cleaner gas, and it's one of the initiatives after the ETCP management plan of the government in 2022 that we are going to use gas as a transition fuel. So the use of CNG which is easy. But in terms of implementing the CNG, some of the limitations is we don't have many fuel stations, and the policies regarding the use of CNGs and also those people that carry out these conversions are not yet strong enough in terms of However, the government is seriously working on this to ensure that they put in verified conversion stations across the country. I know there are, I don't know how many in Ibadan, but I know there are conversion stations in Ibadan where you can go and convert your car to CNG. But the limitation is where can you get, let's say you're driving from Lagos to Ibadan. So I was coming from Lagos this morning and I didn't see any station on the road. So just imagine your gas finished on the road that you need to refill, that is still an issue. And also some of these conversion stations, who checkmates what they are using, the kind of materials or cylinders they are using. So these are all the limitations at this point. But just the same way to me that came into the clean gas we use at home, which is the LPG we use at home, where people have to talk about that it was not good, kerosene was better, a whole lot of restrictions. So I believe as time goes on, people will learn the importance of CNG and see how we can incorporate it. But at this point, but if you have where you have the right person to do your conversion for you, you have where you can actually top up your CNG. I feel that that's great. It's much cheaper and it's cleaner. Thank you.
Thank you. There. So they say when you cook with firewood to make jollof rice sweet, that you're emitting carbon dioxide. Isn't it you said, right, jollof rice cooked on firewood tastes better?
Yeah, jollof rice.
Okay. And here we are. And here we are saying that when we cook with firewood, we're emitting CO2. And we're trying to advocate that people should go into a transition, that's use of gas. So, but when I try to talk to women in the villages, for example, and they will say, we hear of gas explosion. So, how do you think, let's say, if we send our students to the villages to convince local women to transition to gas, what would we be saying? What message would we send with them?
Okay. What message? I mean,
how do you convince your grandma to change from using firewood?
It's going to be very difficult, but I mean, I feel if we can truly explain and make our grandparents or our parents know that it's not really them that are going to feel the impact of climate change. It's the children, it's our kids, it's us, then I feel like it's a good place to start. And apart from that, I mean, still let them know that these explosions can be prevented as well if we can apply safe measures. I mean, just like you said, then we were scared of using gas cylinders in our homes. But now everybody uses it. Because I remember I used the stove, when I was much younger. But now nobody has kerosene or few people. So with this technology, you need to have an idea of how to use it safely. So if you can explain this, then I feel like it's possible to, convince our grandparents to use this.
Thank you very much. So, yes, you want to say something? I was just going to throw it to you.
Thank you. Sorry, I would like to add something. So for me, I'll convince my grandmother to it's jollof rice, right? Yes. The recipe is in my husband. The recipe is in her. She wrote the great with that recipe. So that's the first thing I would tell her. The second thing I do agree with you is, I believe one of the things that is very lacking in the Nigerian society is cultural safety, which was why I commended the team, for the same approach we took at the beginning of this. So I believe that for them as well, they really do not understand what safety. They hear, gas explosion. Yes, but how can you make using the alternative safe? this has to be demonstrated to them on an ongoing basis so that it becomes the DNA or part of their DNA, and then gradually they become used to adopting the same alternatives. The third one is not to them, it's a cost. I don't think it's to them. So we need to, as people, I would charge everybody in this room, I already charged you earlier on, to start thinking of ways to bring down the cost of gas, for instance, so that when they think of the alternatives, it's also affordable and available as well. So if they have to drive a mile or two to go get gas to come cook, the firewood is at the back. I told you guys earlier on, my village, we still use firewood to cook. So it's a thing. So I would say in terms of advocacy, so if there's young people doing advocacy, start with trying to convince them about the recipe, talk about the safety aspects, also talk about the fact that we can help bring down the costs and then make it a bit more available. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we are ready to take your questions, and when these questions come, anybody's free to take it. Okay, so let's see your hand up if you have questions. I don't see any lady, I'm seeing 4 men up. Okay, okay, if you have a question, can you come out? There's no $50.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 4 panelists to attend to your question, but I need to see some ladies. It's fine, just wait. I need to see at least some ladies. I just have one, I need another. This is unfair.
Ladies are.
Okay, any other lady coming? I thought I saw your hand up, fine girl. No, you changed your mind? No more men, no. Anybody else coming now, if they are still in trousers, you shouldn't come. Okay, so can you please pass them the microphone? We'll just see how many we can take before our time run out. Be audible and ask a question.
Alright, good afternoon. Okay, so my question is to the barrister analyst. My name is Olova Michael, I'm a 400 level law student. But unfortunately, I realize that many young lawyers have lost touch of social justice for money. They just want to chase money. And considering the recently enacted Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, it shows how Nigeria is moving towards social justice, considering the provision of compensation. So my question to you is, how do you advise a client, perhaps an engineering company, that is about to embark on a project, a new project, and definitely maximize profits for the company, right? But contravenes the company's corporate social responsibility. How do you advise that?
I like your, in fact, that act that you quoted, I don't think I know it. Really good, I like your question. So let me just say that. So when you actually get into practice, you see that before any project is done, right? There's due diligence, right? There's feasibility studies, there's environmental social reports, things like that. So these kind of issues will definitely come out. It might not even be an engineering company. Let me even give you a more relatable experience. They want to build a new road, right? And they're going to demolish people's shops to build the road, right? Normally, imagine for your mom's shop, they wanted to demolish that. But, government just wants to build the road, or Julius Berger just wants to build the road. How do you advise? So the good thing we have in the world now is the concept of investors, right? Because there's investors and there's lenders. Because most of these projects will not be done from their pockets. You have the confidence that they're going to do the right thing. Because if they don't do the right thing, their lenders are going to see it, and I'm not going to give you money to do the wrong thing. Do you understand? So there's that. But as a lawyer, you have a duty to your clients. You have a duty, even if your client says do this, you have a fiduciary duty to your clients. You're supposed to always advise on what is right and all of that. So what you do in practice is that you told your clients, don't do this is not the right thing to do. But they say, no, this is a commercial decision we want to take, we want to do it. What we do in Olaniwa Jai is we caveat our advice. We make it clear on the face of our paper that, no, this is our advice. There are other options available to you that we cannot recommend. Now that way, and that's what I
So that most times you rarely see companies that just go outside of scope and just do whatever they like. They won't even do projects like that without compensating. There'll be compensation, there'll be a resettlement action plan, a CSR. So because they know that what they are doing is probably no good, they are doing stuff in the environment. They are giving scholarships. They are lighting up the communities. They are doing all sorts of things. So it's not really a big risk again. Now. The question simple, our time is running.
Good afternoon. My name is Ahmed, a strawberry student of Petroleum Engineering Department. So my question is this, that in the course of transition to sustainable energy, I want to know your thoughts on hybrid approach. That's the combination of renewable and non-renewable energy. Would you be a positive drive to net zero emission?
Okay. So we're already in the transition phase, and you would notice that probably 10, 15 years back compared to now, there weren't so many solar panels. Solar was not a conversation, that much a conversation. So the transition or the transitioning is happening. Now, there are also improvements that are happening within the energy or the oil and gas space. You know, things around flare down, projects that are making sure that there's flare elimination, which is helping the environment, but still contributing fossil fuel-based energy into the mix. So the effort is essentially in spending more money in developing the alternative energy sources, which are renewables, gas, as the transition fuel to provide alternative energy, such that we're reducing our consumption of fuels like diesel, which clearly contaminates the environment, doing some sort of replacement of diesel and gas-driven engines, and then investing a lot more, like I said earlier, in things around solar panels, storage of these energies, encouraging, getting to the point where there are people in their homes that have enough solar panels installed and they generate more energy than they require. We need to get to the point where we're beginning to share this energy that we generate. And these are applications of smart systems that are available.
Thank you. Let's take the next question. Thank you.
My name is Kentuko Butugu. I'm a foreign level student for Petroleum Engineering in UI. I have a question. I just don't know who to tell. Does Nigeria have any policy specific to US? I honestly don't know. I am genuinely curious. And if not, why is this so? Because carbon dioxide is one of the cardinal pollutants that we have coming from the oil and gas industry. Thank you.
Who wants to take that?
Right. There is currently no. So CCUS is just a technology. So it's not like it's just a technology used to capture the emission, or used to capture maybe where you are actually processing your oil or just capture your gas. So we don't have that, but what we do is that we have an initiative which the federal government came, which is called gas flare commercialization. So what that body does, which is set up by the NUPRC, what the body does is to ensure that they have the data of every site where oil and gas is being processed, so that they can get the amount of gas that is flowing into the atmosphere, not just flowing into the atmosphere, also captured and also stored and utilized. But currently, that technology of capturing
those gas have not been implemented. However, discussions are currently going on. So what you can see on site presently now is seeing flow meters installed. So most of these sites currently, government has actually mandated that they have flow meters, clear gas flow meters installed at this particular point to major actually pay. But however, the federal government does not want people to just pay those penalties because companies are always willing to pay those penalties. They have the money to pay those penalties. But they want to also bring in technology that can not just measure, but also capture and store that information. So that gas can be used in the power system, can be converted, CO2 can be converted, used in the power use plastic companies for a whole lot of things. So currently policy of capturing, in terms of utilization, we are still, federal government is working on that aspect. So there is a bit of workshop, there's a bit of discussion around that aspect at the moment.
I always say that when you come out to a place like this, you have a market to sell. So you have to tell us your name so people will hear. So you never can tell if your future spouse is here. So speak out, let them hear.
Okay, good afternoon everyone, good afternoon panelists. My name is Obike Onyechi. I'm a 4th-year level student of the Department of Mechanical Engineering. And my question is directed to Engineer Hope with what he said about CCUS. I had the opportunity of interning at an EPC company that was majorly focused on oil and gas projects. And my supervisor makes mention of the fact that implementing something like that is very expensive. There was one particular project we're working on, it's called something about anti-terrorism, where the gas that was gotten from oil was taken to a different facility. And that cost a lot. From what I know here, it even costs more than the act of just drilling and everything. So how then do we sell this to a Nigerian audience when it's even more expensive, when there is more maintenance that has to be put in place, and there also has to be consideration to getting a gas facility that can easily take the gas that is supposed to be flowing instead?
Okay, so it's a very expensive technology, yes, because by the time you put the cost of bringing it short, at this point, the reason why we still don't have that technology in the country at the moment, or however discussions are going on, is because of the cost. Because most of the people to deploy these technologies, we don't presently do not have expertise. So most of the people that are coming to present and say, okay, I have technology. Yeah, most people outside other countries like I want to cross the European countries. I can't remember the name of the country now. I know they do that in the US. They have a CCUS technology in the US. So most of these countries are not most people that have this. So bringing them
anyway, just I don't
try to pay
no, but it should be with you.
Technology is quite very expensive, but if you look at the other side of it in terms of the damage, climate change, flooding, and the money that the oil and gas company is actually making from that particular plant, you find out that you can't compare the money they will spend and what you're going to get. And there are investors that are ready to invest in this technology. So one of the meetings that I attended in Abuja, it was a meeting where we had the technology providers and we also have financial investors that were ready to invest in this kind of technology, but looking at the benefits, so federal government makes it mandatory for companies to do it, they will definitely do it, and which they are trying to do at the moment. So because of the benefits, it will actually do it.
Thank you. My name is Uba Bukinuaki. I'm a final student from Geology Department. So my question goes to Mr. Michael. So technically, Africa is considered as the dark continent because of the issue of energy and power. And we know majority of these Western countries build their infrastructure and economy around this so-called dirty energy. So my question is it fair to African countries, for example, like Nigeria, that are still developing in a sense, to consider those energies that actually make those countries that are the top countries where they get to those sorts of energy that they are using, now consider it dirty. So is it fair to other African countries?
Simple answer, no. It's not just. And that is why there's the clamor for we in Africa to be reasonable or to be sensible about how we propel the transition agenda. And that's why there's the bold statements that come out to say the transition bill will be gas, and they set their own milestones ourselves. There's always been the 2010 agenda, 2020, now 2050. Nigeria's goal is 2060. So we're realizing that there's something called just transition. And that just transition speaks to the fairness you're talking about. So simple answer is no, and at the back of that no is the fact that we're being conscious about how we develop our own reserves, recognizing what you just said, that they build yes on the back of those reserves or those resources, which in a lot of people's opinion have dried up, and then it becomes all the agenda around why everybody must shift away, making it look as if we must all do it at the same time. Clearly, we're not the major pollutants that have resulted in this, but however, the goal is to be responsible in how we process our resources, making sure that we minimize the pollution, but then at a pace that suits our development.
I think that was a very brilliant response, Michael. I wanted to add an additional perspective to this. You know, the talk about energy transition, and you asked a question on energy transition, right? In my opinion, the world is always transitioning, not just away from energy, right? Away from it. So many things have transitioned over the years. I described the transition that occurred around how countries had developed earlier on. From the industrial age to the scientific age and all that. All those ages were powered by something. In the industrial age, the power was coal and fossil, right? And so when we are taking transition, the first thing that you always need to bear in mind is the fact that the other sources of energy will never go away. We still talk about firewood today. So we're still dealing with biomass in certain parts of the world. So what the play is that you have a balance that is robust enough to give you, to reduce your greenhouse gas emission in a way that has a net zero effect. So you're contributing, but you're also taking out in a way that the sum is net zero. So this is the idea. And so let's get it all out of our head that there will ever be a time where oil and gas is not going to be the predominant factor in the energy transition. And guess what? Maybe 100 years from now, we don't have crystal balls. Maybe 200 years from now, there will be another form of energy that will come and tell you that wind and solar is dirty. So, in my own opinion, clean is not absolute. Clean is relative. I can tell you 10 ways that wind and solar is dirty. I can demonstrate to you in this room. So while, yes, they don't emit because they are natural sources, you will see so many things around solar, for instance, and wind that are also contributing, big contributions to emissions. If you look at the gas and the wind turbines, when you look at the structures alone, they are powered by oil and gas, they are powered by fossils. So if you look at the contribution to wind, you can also say that the carbon emission there is significantly coming from oil and gas as well to power wind. Do you get the logic? So just to say that, yes, there will be countries propagating their agenda. I mentioned earlier the arms race. So it's about world dominance, it's about geopolitical activities or dynamics at play. Be aware of this. Every country is racing for dominance, just like they're racing for dominance now for the AI war. Let's say US won the war, the arms race. For technology, that's why there's Silicon Valley in the US, for instance, because they invested heavily in all the infrastructure that was required to drive tech, and that's why some of the biggest tech companies are in the US. But moving away from that, the question to you, to me, to everyone in this room is, how can we as Nigerians also contribute in this arms race in our own little way? First, by making us a more efficient nation but also generally eradicating poverty. I think that's the mindset that we should have. Every other thing, the world says, is what they say, and it's also politically driven. So you always have to have that awareness. I just wanted to add this before I leave. Thank you very much.
It's shaking like.
Thank you very much.
But when I was there, it was just shaking like.
Quickly,
Yes, once more.
so that we can round up.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olasukomi. I'm a final year student in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. My question is also related to this question. As of today, China is the largest consumer of coal in the world right now. In fact, larger percentage of their electricity is generated from coal. And Nigeria, as a country, is blessed with coal. We have that in abundance. But Ms. Gloria mentioned something, I don't know if it's Ms. Gloria or you mentioned something about the Paris Agreement. And we see that these countries, the Western countries, like you rightly said, built their industries. I mean, the fourth industrial revolution came as a sort of ability to exploit these forces of nature to produce. And we see that they are usually comparing African countries to be party to this agreement. Come and sign the Paris Agreement, the Indian Agreement, this sort of agreement. So the question is, should we be parties to this agreement in most of the times that they call for agreements and stuff like that? Because if you check the Nigerian political situation, our politicians are fond of jumping on trends, AI,
Keep it short.
Yes, so should we parties to this agreement?
Okay, so if I were to quickly answer that, if we look at it from based on everything that we said today, we can say no. Maybe Nigeria should not be quick to jump on this thing. But the keynote speaker made a point just now that was very critical. She said many of these things are politically driven. We also need to bear in mind that our politicians are politicians, right? And apart from the fact they might have their own personal interests at heart, but no country can exist on its own, except for Russia that is doing that and they're like just all of them. Or we're not Russia. There are a lot of international relations dynamics at play, right? So if every answer, actually there's also sometimes something they call I think it's sale of carbon points or something, carbon credits. So those higher industrialized nations that pollute more, they are not able to take off all the credits they produce. So they sell it to countries that are not polluting as much. And so that there will be a balance. I think there's something in that neighborhood, okay? All right, don't worry, we'll get there. We're hoping and believing that with technology, with your generation coming up and creating policies and technologies that will help us, then it will be all right eventually, yeah?
My name is Mujera Daniel, and I'm a 400 student of the Department of Biomaterials Engineering. Now, I'm currently considering specializing in bioenergy engineering, where we explore biofuels like biodiesel, bioethanol. And my question is, in the context of the Nigerian industry, how this was because globally, some of these fuels, there are blends that are standard. For instance, there is B20. That is 20% biodiesel and 80% fossil fuel diesel. So in the context of Nigeria, for those people that are industry practitioners, are you industry standard practice or those things that are setting staff or preventing it from becoming industry standard? Because as someone that likes to venture into the field, I want to know if there's a future for it in Nigeria. I should just grab it for something.
Okay, hold on. What course do you say you study?
Food and biomaterials engineering.
So yes, definitely. I mean, we all know that the world is moving towards cleaner energy. I mean, it's a political strategy. Like she mentioned, we all have to be a growing economy as Nigeria. So we have to, be positive towards this trend of making our environment greener. So definitely there's a place for you, definitely. And Definitely you're smiling. So yes, there's a place for you. We're moving into greener energy. And so, definitely.
There's a place for you and your girlfriend.
My name is innovators, third level students of Christian engineering. So I have a clarification question and a follow-up question for your answers. It's open to any of the panelists. My question is based on in terms of energy equity. Is it about equality in terms of every user have equal access? Or is it about prioritizing user-based needs in terms of what they want? And my two follow-up questions is this: if at all I am to build a product that actually aids energy deployment, do I build a system that satisfies user needs? Or at the same time still trying to maintain my business model to not run down financially? And if it's about prioritizing user-based needs, how do I build a system that still maintain integrity at the same time every stakeholder is satisfied?
Okay, so let me, energy equity is about everybody having access to power. You said something, is it about access to power?
Is it equal access or they're prioritizing?
Prioritizing, if we are prioritizing people, then we don't have, then we are not equal. Do you understand? It's just like what we have now with this band A and this band G. Is that not energy for it?
Yeah, that's why I give
Because it means if you can pay for it, you have the power. If you can't pay for it, you don't have the power. That's what we have right now.
Can we give it to her?
But it is like that because
She'll be the one this protocol. Yeah, she'll be close. No, she'll be close to both. Like she would do it.
Yeah, energy solution. Should you prioritize people or your
yes, the one with the Wi-Fi. Close to you.
That's a commercial question. You know. And is your money going to the money you are going to use to start it? Are you going to have it?
No. Before you wanted to use this phone to write.
Exactly, because it's not you're going to run down. And you are not a non-governmental organization. It's not charity. Of course, you may not prioritize heavy or excessive profits, but those sustainable business, right? You can business and
they are using two phones. One person should
start to watch
this.
Once you power 20 houses, you don't have any money if you're not getting anything out of it. So, I mean, it's also, like I said, it's a commercial question. So, it depends at that time, what's your business model? What's your financial model? How much do you need to use? How much do you need to get out of it? Of course, if you are trying to save, I have a client that, they say a parent company that does mini grids in Nigeria. And every time I get on calls with them, they're like, oh, we want to save Africa. We want to save Africa. And I'm like, but if, and they said they want to save Africa, and they lost tens of millions of dollars in Nigeria. And look here, I'm like, will you guys just cut your losses and go back to your country? But no, they keep on paying heavy legal fees, heavy advisory fees because they want to save Africa. Except here, there. And they can only do that because they obviously have other businesses that are giving them the money so they can save Africa. So you have to prioritize your financial. Thank you very much.
I also a case where an investor came to Nigeria and used political influence. They came to tell Ikeja Electric that they no longer supply power to the airport. Lagos Airport was like one of our top customers. They were giving us $1 million per month. So politicians came and said that they want to prefer renewable energy to Lagos Airport. And we are telling the customer, please, kindly go to a village that don't have power supply and implement your solar solution. And the investor was like, no, we want to see the airport. That's where they can make our money from. So, as a business person, you need to sell that you definitely buy whatever you're selling. That's good, because in those communities where they don't have electricity, at the point where we visited them, we were ready to pay as well. 100 naira per unit. At that point, it was about 50 naira per unit. There was no bargaining with the announcement.
Thank you very much. Give you final thoughts. Your final thoughts. I also heard that Asoro was doing solar. Is that a good idea? I don't know, but final thoughts on this. Round up on, and you can consider
this money.
Okay, so I'll just start there's a place for everyone. Was it something I thought of, but let's just understand that undergraduates is just a stepping stone. There are
Just connect it.
several opportunities.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to download
When
the
you're
app.
interested in something, you can actually push forward and do it. So whatever you're studying, there's a place for you. There's always a place for you. So let's not be scared. Whatever course you're studying and whatever propaganda that we might be hearing outside, there's a place for us.
Just always keep yourself abreast. I never had the opportunity of attending a meeting like this or a conference like this while I was in school. I always say that it's a big opportunity for you. And whenever you see opportunities like this, make yourself available. You are not just keep abreast of what is currently going on in your society. You are not just keep abreast of what is currently going on in your society, and that goes.
Michael, you want to go next? Your final thoughts.
Okay, thank you. I'd just like to leave with about 2 or 3 actionable takeaways for all of us here as it speaks to the theme of this panel session, which is the role of the young minds in tomorrow's that support your continuous endeavors in your current field of study, particularly to gaining the exposure with regards to keeping this energy sustainable are very small steps that we take in our daily lives. Endeavor to switch off power buttons.
So everybody has said, you said everything I wanted to say. I think what I'm just going to add here is that you have graduates produced in Nigeria every year. There are million professionals produced in Nigeria every year. And the well-paid careers, the well-paid jobs, I'm not teaching lawyer, I don't want to like, just boiling and doing stuff. But I can say for a fact that it means that I don't even think I knew what it was. We're just, coasting and just having fun. You know what's interesting. So you owe it to yourself. You want it to not just be any. It requires concerted, coordinated. You want it to not just be any. It requires concerted, coordinated action from governments, organizations, and industries, as well as individual action from governments, organizations, and industries, as well as individuals, like you change the lifestyles that promote conservation and use. Partnerships should be developed between governments, international agencies, and youth organizations for joint environmental initiatives aimed at building the capacity of young people. Where I worry is that such opportunities to go to such conferences as this. And for your friends who couldn't make it here today, you should be advocates for the climate. And I want to speak to the girls who are here from the secondary school. You have seen the caliber of people who spoke up here today. It was because they took their studies seriously. Gone are the days where the boys have to take first, second, third, fourth, 10th before you are 11th or 12th or 13th. Today, we believe the head of the girl is actually faster than the speed of connection of the brain cells of the boy. So put it to use. You should choose your career like the policies of their nation. So when you go out there, you should be definite about what you want to be in the future. I am sure having seen the people who spoke to you today, you want to be like one of them, both boys and girls. You see role models speaking to you today. How can I grow up to be like you? Even better. If you put a little more effort, you'll be better than everybody seated on this stage. Thank you very much for listening to us. Thank you. Thank you very much, panelists. Don't mind having more. Thank you.
If you are copying for them, I think you can actually do better. So, in fact, please let's keep clapping those fingers to their skills. Thank you, sir. Alright, so now we're going to be going into the oratory session. And I would like to call on Olasokome Mubara to give us the modalities about that.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, we are going to the oratory competition now, and I would like to first acknowledge our judge that are here for the oratory competition. The theme of the oratory competition is My Dream Future, powered by STEM, driven by AI, and fueled by smart energy. Personally, I like the
President of the Technology Literary and Debating Society and majority leader of the SRC Sultan Hall. Mojola Daniel is a decorated public speaker known for his compelling logic and creative delivery. He was a finalist in the 2025 Young Orators National Competition, Best Speaker at State Electorals 2024, and a key member of the Faculty of Technology's Journal 2024 Championship. That's a really thing. Please can we celebrate Daniel? It's going to be one of our topics for this session. Thank you.
And for our other judge for today, we'll be having Nimotala Raji. I'll be taking a citation. So Nimotala Raji is a food technology student at the University of Ibadan, deeply passionate about food security and reducing post-harvest losses in Nigeria. She currently serves as the president of the Nigerian University of Model United Nations Society for the 2024-2025 session. In 2023, she served as the Secretary General for the Victory World MUN based in Indonesia, where she connected with young changemakers across borders. Over the years, her commitment and public speaking skills have earned her multiple recognitions, including Best Delegates in the World Food Programme and overall Best Delegates at the African Model United Nations Conference 2022, as well as Best in the Agriculture, Rural Development and Sustainability Committee at the Young Model African Union 4 in Nairobi, Kenya. In addition, she has twice won the annual MSSNUI paper and PowerPoint presentation award as a representative of the MSSNUI Faculty of Technology. Ladies and gentlemen,
and last we have Michael Ipadon, and the current president of the Faculty of Law, Literary and Debating Society. He also serves as the Lord President of the Tenor Hall Literary and Debating Society and Chamber Head of the H.O. Davis Chamber. Michael.
Are we good with that? SI. The team by Dream Future, powered by STEM, driven by AI, and fueled by smart energy.
Which one is this?
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oladeji Olaoluwa, and I'm here to speak on the topic My Dream Future, powered by STEM, driven by AI, and fueled by smart energy. I believe everyone has a vision of the future, but what if this future can also shape the world? What if your passion can become a tool for change? My dream future is not just a personal ambition. It's a commitment towards building a better future using STEM, artificial intelligence, and smart energy solutions. It is a life driven by passion, curiosity, and impact. In a world of rapidly evolving technology, STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is not just a field of study. It is the engine of innovation. According to UNESCO, but to make a difference using STEM, driven by AI, and fueled by smart energy. Thank you.
Why do we use import solutions when we can develop it ourselves? This is a round of applause. Alright, thank you very much for that presentation. And that Anissa Bambani from IQ Academy. Please round of applause.
I don't know if I can win it. They all put on the name of that procedure.
Good day. Good day, ladies and good day.
Zuko. Yeah.
Technology, engineering, and mathematics. Let me take you there. Technology, engineering, and mathematics. Let me take you there. Because you, yes, you dare to dream. That is my dream future. It is powered by STEM, driven by AI, and fueled by smart energy. Let us begin with STEM. Without science, we won't be able to understand the world around us. Without tech, we won't be able to harness those knowledge into ideas. Without engineering, tools would remain just ideas. And without mathematics, well, let's just say, I wouldn't be able to count. Some people think AI breakthrough could be from a Nigerian teenager, or it could even be you. So we shouldn't fear AI, rather we should only train and guide it. Students like you and me use AI to learn anything, anytime, and in any language. But here's the twist: AI must be driven ethically. It must reflect our values, our beliefs, our culture, and our humanity. I once heard a quote which says, "Those who think they are crazy enough to change the world are the ones who actually change it." And who better guy than no, it's not petrol. Sorry, dear filling stations, for your time is thinking. But the irony said, I want to get the job because in my dream, you will not be petrol anymore. You will be smart.
Petrol station. NMPC.
Also Nigeria's dream. A nation where we export green energy and import new opportunities. A nation where our youth don't flee the country but fly the country forward. My dear audience, if you love drawing, then become an engineer or architecture. If you love gaming, become an AI developer. And if you are caring, if you are curious, if you are dreaming, and if you are daring, you already belong in the world of STEM. As I end this speech, I give you the image of a slave, not one that burns, steals, or destroys items. Not even the one you use in your kitchen stew, but one that ignites mind. Let us guide this flame. Let us guide this flame with AI. Power is STEM. The only question is, are you ready to build it with me?
Because you, yes, you. That's my future. This is a round of applause for you. Thank you very, very much. Please, I would like to call our attention to something. While the speaker is speaking, please, and you see a point that's very interesting, please don't clap. You rather. That's the standard. Please, let's try to complete that. Alright. That's the standard. Please, let's try to complete that. Alright, without wasting much of our time, we go right into the next.
of an excellent driver, AI, and fueled by smart energy. We are the fruit of a revolution. Here our world is turning into a generation. If we don't make use of artificial intelligence, what is the intellectual sense? When we are not artificial enough, depend on natural resources, we should transit into it. It will not belong to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. AI is here to replace us. But please, AI is not here to replace us. It serves as a plus to elevate our growth, a power efficient source to distinguish between truth or false. To smart energy. Smart energy is the aspect of thinking where we convert and turn on the base of political environment and fossil fuels. We understand the use. Smart energy is a confidential energy. What we need is just to understand the use. Apply the rules. Avoid misuse and pollution we will reduce. Slave trade in the modernized way is avoided. Of ease. AI and STEM collaborated together has no limits. For an African proverb says, the last time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the best time is now. Let's start now. We have no limits. For AI and STEM is limitless. Technology is limitless. In conclusion, I thrive at a world where we is enjoyed. A world where technology can say, come to me, all ye that are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. We come as a world where I say, and I go because our generation. Let us create a world where our generation we say, thank you, Gen Z, in the 21st century. For you made the world easy. I remain JB Mark.
Alright, so now we're going to go into the presentation of awards to our panelists. And I'd love to invite Okeke. Okay, just before the presentation of awards, I'd love to call on Taiwo Oluwa for the innovator pitch session. Please can we put our hands together? Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So the idea is that the programs like this, places like this, you see that a lot of students will have let's say knowledge network, so we need out chances to 5 2 minutes elevators.